Rex Eberly is going to talk to us about the PPRA website. This is such an amazing tool. We've been hearing about it for a couple years, and and to finally see it out there, it is just as amazing as it was, I guess, projected to be. So, Rex, if you'll take it away.
My name is Rex Eberly. I'm with Bergkamp Inc. out of Salina, Kansas, and then today I'm also representing ISSA, International Slurry Surfacing Association. So about 3 years ago, I'm getting like the government, I'm going to throw a lot of initials out at you. EMA, which is the asphalt emulsion manufacturers, started a marketing study. They wanted to come up with how can we increase the use of emulsions, and they got to thinking that what they needed to do was educate people like yourselves more about emulsions and preservation treatments. As they got into their study, they started finding out that this project was bigger than what they thought, and so they brought in the other two members of PPRA, which is Pavement Preservation and Recycling Alliance, ERA, the recycling folks, and ISSA, Slurry Seal, and we put together roadresource.org, and it took about 2.5 years of hard work with a lot of volunteer effort to put a website together that is it's a database of everything, well, not everything, but so much information on preservation treatments, and on expanding your networks with these preservation treatments. So I want to go through this really quick. Now, you would think that if you're doing a presentation on a website, you'd pull the live website up. We've found that never works because of computers and internet and all that. So we're going to just do it right now with screenshots, but I encourage you, go to roadresource.org and just start playing. There's so much in there that we're not going to touch. So we're out of time. We're going to skip the fluff. You all know why we're here, and we'll talk about that picture later. So building a better network is what this is all about, and this gives us tools to train your people, to help you learn, to help you choose which treatments go where. It also gives you tools to take to your head office or your politicians or the public and help them understand why you're doing preservation and why we're doing this. And you'll see that through this, and it didn't blow up very big, but so everything here, we're here trying to improve that network, improve that overall network condition, get the lowest life cycle cost per road, and then maximize our eco benefit. And all of these things, you'll see these icons throughout the system, and that kind of helps you look if I'm really concentrating today on sustainability, look for that leaf. If I'm really needing to know what costs are, go for the dollar sign. So it really helps you navigate the system. As you'll see on the top, we start with about us and what the process is, and I'm not going to go deep into this except for that last bullet point, which is data methodology. So you all are engineers, some of you are scientists, you want to know how we put the data together, and so there's a long section here that will help you understand where the data came from, how much effort was put into it, and what it means to you. So that's an important place to start. So when you take some of these findings to people, you can defend what you're taking. Another very interesting thing about this website is you have the capability to personalize it for your area. So you'll see in the base website that there's average unit costs for preservation tools. There's average life extensions for all of these preservation tools, but those were averaged all over the U.S. and Canada. So in Tennessee or Kentucky, you know what, your cost we may show $2.50 per square yard per microservicing, and you go, no, here it cost me $2.35. So you can go in and plug your own prices and your own life extension numbers into this so it matches what you see in your network. So and this data is never going to go to anybody. It stays on, in the website. Nobody's going to pull it up and go, aha, we need to send more people to Tennessee because their pricing's better or anything like that. No, that information is not shared, it's not looked at, it's just your data. So we know that the best pavement managers all use more than just one or two tools, and so we help you learn about all of the different tools and where they can be used on the asphalt deterioration curve. So I think one of the best places to go, one of the best places to start is our treatment toolbox. And so I've heard this question asked many times: what treatment is best for this road? What treatment should I use, and how do I know how to pick that treatment? So we have two methods of doing that on the website. So the first is by treatment criteria, and the second is by treatment photo. So let's start by criteria. And so if you look here, you can fill out your own sections in the black. And so this engineer said, okay, I've got a section that's got a PCI in a B category, 70 to 84 PCI. The major primary distress is oxidation, raveling. It's moderate. We're going to put a road type in there of an urban collector, and then it's a dense graded hot mix is what we're working on. And so you plug those numbers in, and then the treatments that work for that type of roadway highlight themselves, and then you can look, and then you can go, okay, slurry seal would work. Let me learn about that. Fog seal wouldn't work, obviously, so we don't look at that. And this allows you to pick the different treatments that might help you preserve that roadway. Also, as you can see, we've got what we call the ice cream sandwich here. So it kind of gives a visual depiction of everything from good to poor. And then if we were online, we could pick a treatment, and it would highlight the areas where it should be used. And it'll also highlight, when you look into some of the recycling and the FDRs, it'll show what part of the roadway that it's working on. So that's a neat tool for education, but it's also a neat tool to give you ideas, what can I do with this road? So we've got another one here, and this is a D. It's a poor PCI in here, and we're seeing, okay, with this one we've got cold in place recycling, or cold central plant might be the best best preservation tools. So this here allows you to plug in your numbers that you've gotten from your pavement management system and make a decision of what's best for my road. Well, we've got another way of doing it too. And so there are over 100 photographs of different sections of roadway, and they're categorized from A all the way down to F, and you can click on any one of these photos, and if you hover over it, it'll give you the PCI rating. If you click on it, it will bring up the right treatment or a group of treatments that will work for this. So in this example, we pulled up, we had a pavement condition D. It gives us our primary distress is fatigue cracking. It gives us possible solutions, and on this one, it's so far gone that we recommend full depth reclamation. It also talks about what secondary distresses are in that photograph. And that lets you go look and go, yeah, that, maybe I don't have the right data from the road, but I have a photograph, or I've been on the road. I can pull these up and look and see what is the best treatment for my road that looks a lot like this road. And then we get into the treatment resource center. So, okay, that told me to use a scrub seal. We've never used a scrub seal in my district before. So I can go to the treatment resource center, click on scrub seal, or click on any of our treatments, and learn more about it, when to use it, how to use it. We'll look at it here. Here's all the different treatments listed. So we go from fog seal to ultra thin HMA, microsurfacing, chip seal, capes. We get into tack coats, prime coats. We get into recycling with cold planing and milling all the way down to FDR. And then base stabilization and soil stabilization. So there are treatment pages for each one of those. A treatment page you'll see here, it's not just a page. Scott Bergkamp was here. He put together the microsurfacing and slurry pages. It took him months and months with that committee to do this. And you'll start here, and you see we start with about the treatment and different processes and expectations and costs, and everything you need to know to make a decision on that treatment is right here. We go on into how should your specifications look. how should you inspect it? What's important to inspect? And then also with all the treatments, there are case studies or maybe some photographs or videos or papers that have been written about that process. So you can go in there and really research it. So we're not asking you to take our word for it. We're giving you the Federal Highway Administration's word for it, or we're giving university studies or private studies or what other states are doing. So each of those treatments has a treatment section just like this for you to go and learn about the different treatments. So next thing we do, we go from there, we go into network optimization. So how can you optimize your network? And I think you folks really can benefit. I think you're already using a lot of these tools separately, but this is one place to go for some of these that you can have it all in one spot. It's also a good place when you're out training citizens, training your politicians, or talking to your bosses. So you can kind of use this as a way. So on the optimization page, first we've got a how-to guide. If you're new to preservation, why use preservation, how does that optimize your network? And then we go with, we'll look at the equivalent annualized cost. We have life cycle costing, remaining service life calculators, and a cost benefit value calculator. And we don't have time today to get into life cycle cost or the cost benefit value, but those are some excellent tools to show both yourself and other people how your program is working, because you can put your own data into it and show people what you're doing, just like the graph that we saw from Kentucky. So the equivalent annualized costs, again, these are important. That lets you know, okay, where should I spend my money? Because yeah, a crack seal is very inexpensive, and a hot mix overlay is extremely expensive. But how do they rate? What are they worth on an annualized basis? And so with this calculator, it just allows you to input your costs, your life extension, and then it just calculates for you very easily a annualized cost for that product, and then you can graph those. You can look at all the products that you use normally. You can graph those, and that'll kind of help you start making decisions. And again, put your own numbers into these. Then we go into remaining service life, and we have calculators that help you calculate that remaining service life, and how can you design a treatment program that adds maximum years to your system. And so there's calculators again for that. This one was set up for a small city, and they went in and they said, okay, I've got 200 lane miles, average width. My budget is $1.3 million. And I can go in and I can use these different processes. Not all of them are preservation. And we go in there and with their own information, they come up with a life extension and a budgeted cost. And as they work through that system, they come up. And by using this full toolbox of treatments, preservation, they're doing about $600,000. They're adding 222 lane miles. They're doing some rehabilitation, adding 44 lane miles, and some reconstruction, and adding 50 lane miles. So that year, they can see we have gained 116 lane miles, or remaining years, excuse me, and we have touched 27% of his roads, his or her roads in that section. So that allows you in a district or an area to think about the roads you have to deal with, and it's a good calculator just to plug things into. This is Fairfield, Connecticut. We'll see a picture of theirs, just showing how that city put together this information, and they use this calculator every year to see where they are. Then we get into environmental benefits. We've got a sustainability calculator for these processes. And we work through that, and you can plug in what's the sustainability of a microsurfacing versus a hot mix, or I think in this case it's let's see, how do we do better with a cold in place recycle and a hot and a microsurfacing top, or should we do a full mill and fill? And it walks through the numbers and helps you make a sustainability calculation on that. Then we get into recycling. We have structural comparisons. We've got calculators on that, so that it'll talk to you about your structural capacity and what your structure is on a mill and fill. So what would the structure be with a cold in place and a possibly, or an FDR and a microsurfacing, and you can look at those and you can go, well, you know, by doing conventionally, we're going to spend X and we're going to get this structural value. By going to preservation, a more preservation or recycling treatment, you'll save money, and you'll get almost the same structural capability. And then you can look, is that enough structure for me, or do I need more? What do I need to do? So then you can go in, there's a lot of education tools here, so we get into the emulsion side, and so a lot of education on emulsions. So if you're not sure, or if you got a new hire that needs to learn about emulsions, this is the right place to go start. So we talk about our classifications. What are all those classifications? What do they mean? Why are they there? So it works that for you. We go in and the same thing, and we can go in, we can search for articles. And so this is a clearinghouse for all of the information that we've found, and we're still finding information and putting it on here. So you can search for articles. You can find the training resources that you can need. You can ask an expert, so you can contact one of the 3 groups, and we have committees that will answer questions on the different processes. So like I said, we're still building this website. This summer we're going to hire 2 college students and let them sit down in front of a computer for a month and just go start searching and finding all of the information that we missed the first time around, and looking for those articles and looking for papers that have been written on preservation. And then we'll look at them, make sure that they're correct and appropriate, and then we'll download them onto the system. So this is going to be this one-stop shop for you for everything preservation. And here's a list of some of these articles we've got. So research on NCHRP 784 or PennDOT research. So you can go see what other states are doing, other regions are doing with their preservation. So what do you think? Helpful? So go play on it. I mean, just go play. Put your numbers in. Look at what you've been doing, and I got to tell you, it's so neat to hear the Kentucky story, because, I mean, we see this on the website, and we built the website to train people to do what Kentucky's done, and then to have Kentucky coming back with the data going, hell yeah, it works. I mean, that's some good stuff. So, last thing, I don't know, has anybody not seen this photograph? This is the world's best photograph. This proves preservation. This is the same roadway. This is not retouched. This is not photoshopped. Similar to a road we saw earlier today. Half of this road, the right half, is owned by one city. The left half is owned by another city. In 2004, I believe it was, they went in and did a full mill and fill, 2-inch mill and fill. In 2010, the city on the right did a crack sealing and a microsurfacing. The city on the left decided at that time not to spend the money. This picture was taken in 2018. That's what pavement preservation does. No traffic changes, same road, same condition, and which one would you like to have in your network? So, so some good stuff there. All right. Thank you. Any questions on the website?
More of a comment than a question, but just wanted to add that I pulled it up on my phone, and it works great on the phone as well. So,
yep. Some of the calculators are a little tough on the phone, but they work. But,
sure.
Yep.
As the millennial, I thought I had to throw that in there.
So, as the non-millennial, I was working on my laptop at the same time. I couldn't find the unit cost table until I created an account.
That is correct.
Is that how you have to do that?
That's how you do it. I'm sorry, yes. You have to create an account to get into that, yes. We don't do that. And just really quick, so I'm leaving from here to go to St. Louis. We are bringing in 50 volunteers to become super users of this website. And so if any of you want someone to come and talk to your organization, to your leaders, or learn more about the website, just get a hold of myself or anybody at the 3 organizations, and we'll send a super user out, and we can spend, I mean, we could spend a whole day learning on this stuff or teaching you on this stuff. So we could do that.
Another comment, the website, you know, it's got a lot of training resources, and, you know, the stuff that they pull isn't just from EMA, ARA, and ISSA. They're pulling stuff from Federal Highways, the NHI training courses, and even the NCPP training courses listed on the website as well. So they're not just doing their own internal stuff.
Well, yep, and we even tried to be, you know, we brought in HMA, so I mean it's not just saying use our stuff, because there's times when you got to use the HMA, but we want it to be good for that. I want to take 2 minutes of your time, because I should have talked this earlier. Also with ISSA, I've been on the committee doing the certification, and I've heard a lot of people in the meetings the last couple of days say, boy, I wish we had certification in the state, in my state. I got to tell you, the contractors are on board. Every ISSA contractor that, except for one, we had one guy in California that didn't like certification. So what I'm saying is your contractors are on board. We've got NCPP helping with to do the training and the testing, and ISSA's doing training. Really, I got to tell you guys, if you want certification, right now the roadblock is states adopting certification. And I know that's a slow and hard process, but what worries me is we've got a really good push. Chuck's doing great training at the Slurry Systems Workshop, and we're doing a good job getting our contractors and some inspectors trained, and we've got momentum. But if we don't get more states going, you know what, we're going to require certification for our preservation, that momentum's going to slow down. So I don't mean to be rude at the end of my talk. I'm just saying, if you guys want certification, it's there. You can go grab it. It's already built, but you got to put it into your own specifications. So I'll get off my soapbox. And Travis, here. Oh, got.
Okay, just one quick question.
Yeah.
I heard you hired some people, but is any fee associated with the service this website provided?
The service is completely free. If you want to send somebody to super user training, it was like a $200 fee just to cover meals and rooms and stuff like that. So maybe $250 something. But there's no charge to that, and there's no charge to have us send somebody out to talk to you about it.
A little bit of a tangent, but certification, from your perspective, how would you recommend that be specified? Would you say maybe one person per job, or every person on the job needs to be certified? On the contractor side?
There are details in the certification program, and what we normally say is the agency should have someone in whoever designs preservation they should have someone certified at that level, and they should have someone certified that's going to be in charge of the individual project. We understand that inspectors come and go, and maybe you can't certify all your inspectors. So on the agency side, we think someone doing the design and someone who's in charge of inspection down at the district level or area level. On the contractor side, we think that we want to certify someone that's in management. We want to certify someone that is going to be on the project, and that can be a superintendent, it can be an operator, and then that's kind of every crew runs a little differently. And then I think we have in there that about 3 people on a crew need to have full certification, and then the others, a majority of the rest should have at least taken the online training course that we have at ISSA, so they know what they're looking at. And I'm sorry, I can send you some more information. We've got it all detailed out of how we think the certification work. The main thing we believe in the certification is it starts with a quality management plan that's put together by the contractor, and so that plan calls out how many people that contractor is going to train and certify, and it can be more than the minimum. But the goal is we start with this quality management plan, we go into a pre-con, and a trained inspector or trained state agency has looked at that quality plan with a trained and certified contractor, and you know what, there's problems on every job. And so that's what we do, is we look at that quality management plan, and it says, hey, if X happens, the contractor's going to do Y. Well, and we talk about that before the project, and then when X happens and the contractor doesn't do Y, the inspector's trained and certified, and he can go, hey, you told me you were going to do Y, and you're not doing it. Get on it or we're shutting you down. And so we need to have that education on both sides, and we need to have the certification on both sides, all learning about that quality management plan that can be written around your specification. So that's the way we want to see it.
Great. Okay. Well, thanks, Rex.
Thank you.
Rex again, Rex.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.